Okay, now it's recording.
Okay, now we're good now.
Now we're recording.
Okay, fantastic.
Oh, man. Episode 12 already?
Already episode 12.
This is crazy.
It is a little crazy.
Just think about this.
Okay.
If we were like other podcasts,
Which we're clearly not.
we would be on episode 12, and this would be our 12th month.
This is true. We're on episode 12, and
This is
we're cranking them out.
This is
man.
actually our second month.
Yes, but
So-
we record in
Bulk.
bulk, yeah.
Yeah, but that's because we also try to do that our one live a month,
Yeah, this is true.
because that is what we set out to do.
Yeah, yeah, which we still have to get a date for that one.
Well, it's. I mean, we're
I mean,
only,
yeah, it's still early. I mean, we're good.
what? We're the 7th of January. We
Yeah.
got time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We got plenty of time. It's all right.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, and if we miss January, who cares?
I care.
That's fair, and our 27 viewers care.
And our 27 viewers care.
Hey,
Yes.
look, dude.
Hey.
My thought is when I was teaching broadcast journalism, you only need to reach one person. That's it.
That's true.
And so that one person that is watching us religiously.
Right. There was one time I reached one person, and then they called the police.
I was
So
going to say,
I think it was different.
That's that time that you ended up in jail.
Yeah, it was different.
Yeah.
It was a different reaching, I think, is what happened. So
Oh my God. Oh. This is the episode that you've been waiting for.
I have been waiting for this episode.
We've kind of danced around the subject.
We have tiptoed. Now we are going to jump in the deep end, my friends.
Yeah, well, I have navigated this ship very expertly so that we could avoid this topic, but
No.
unfortunately,
This is the Titanic, and we're about to hit an iceberg.
oh my goodness.
We have some very strong feelings on this.
You have some very strong feelings about
I
this.
do.
I have no opinion.
You're about to.
Oh God.
Because, you're about to get sucked into
Your hatred?
I wouldn't even call it hatred.
Welcome to the dark side, he says.
My displeasure.
Give in to your hatred.
Yes, give into it.
Well, hello, friend.
Hello, friends.
I'm Rob.
I'm Keith.
We are the Renaissance Rascals.
We are.
And today we are talking about fairs, festivals, and fantasies.
Fantasies.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
We're talking about the different types of things that you, as an actor, acting, could get involved in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that we're going to touch on some sore subjects here for quite a few people.
Most likely.
Because there's some things about the festival life that most people don't get. Like, not all festivals where people dress in garb are Renaissance festivals.
No, there are different kinds.
Here in Colorado, we've got, I think, 4 or 5.
Yes, I mean we've got one main.
Yeah, we've got the Colorado Renaissance Festival. You've got Pirate, the Pirate Festival.
The Pirate Festival up in Northglenn.
Up in Northglenn. You've got the Highland Games.
The Highland Games.
Then there's another Celtic
There's
one.
a Celtic festival in Elizabeth.
And what's the last one that and the Viking thing that just came up not long ago.
Yeah, that's a newer one.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of information on that.
I don't
yet,
either.
but-
I don't have much of an opinion on that. I just know that I like Vikings ever since watching The Last Kingdom.
Yeah. I mean, I watched Vikings.
Oh, that's a good show too.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's start.
it was right there in the name.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
thought, all right,
Well, let's start off with Renaissance festivals.
because that's what we do.
Yes, it is. And Colorado Renaissance Festival is historically adjacent,
Yes.
which means we derive most of the costuming from the 1500s.
Yeah.
Elizabethan.
It's. I think our festival is right around the 1500s.
Right.
So in there.
Okay. So some festivals are more historically accurate.
Yes.
We are adjacent because we don't have Henry VIII. We have King Henry.
Yeah.
And we don't have Anne Boleyn, we have Queen Anne.
Queen Anne. We have some historical figures that are fact based.
Correct.
So
some characters that
Yes.
actors play that are historically based but not historically accurate.
Yeah.
The classic example would be Lord Surrey,
Yes.
who historically speaking is a bloodthirsty bastard.
Yes.
But he's played by a very lovely person.
Oh, I love him.
He's one of our improv coaches.
He's definitely a mentor, for sure.
So he does not portray the militaristic side of the actual Lord Surrey.
Yes.
And then there's who's the other one? There's a couple more that are historically aligned.
So there's the Duke and Duchess of Norfolk.
Yes.
And they play that character fairly well, straightforward.
Yes.
And he's a wealth of information,
which not just within the Renaissance.
No, just a wealth of information.
Very learned man.
Yes, learned.
I like that word. Learned.
I know it's just weird the way they say it, but I like it. But yeah, no. So a lot of our characters are loosely based on real people.
Well, even Yen Sheng is loosely based on a historical person.
Yes,
Wang Ji, which is one of the pirate lords of the Woku.
Yes.
So I portray his nephew. So I'm historically adjacent, but I did not want to come across as I'm Wang Ji because that dude got killed.
Yeah, and my character Lord Robert is completely made up. He's a figment of my imagination.
A pigment?
A pigment.
Okay.
I mean he's based on a couple different things, but
yes.
but it's just little bits of here and there.
Okay.
But yeah, completely my own. One of my many personalities I have.
Concoction. I like that word.
Yes, he is definitely a potpourri of characters.
Potpourri.
Yes.
I like that.
I know.
So,
and I smell good too.
No.
Not after a day at the fair, I don't.
No.
Catch me in the morning.
Yes. That is a true statement. After a day at the fair, we both smell like we've been to battle and back.
Yes. So, but yeah, no, like you were saying, Renaissance festivals are generally going to be about the same time frame.
Correct.
Which is the Renaissance period in England.
Yes.
Now, depending on what era that may be,
within the Renaissance.
Within the Renaissance is what characters you're gonna run into at different fairs.
It'll slide left or right depending on the location. Now, fun fact here: the very first Renaissance festival in the United States, actually happened in California. So most of the festivals are based off of the idea that came out of there for the Renaissance. However, we start going into different festivals. You were telling me about. You went down to Sherwood Forest.
Sherwood Forest in Texas.
Yes. And they are not
a
Renaissance festival.
They are not.
Which you showed up in Renaissance garb.
Yes, I did. I was unaware of this fact until I walked in and went, why do I look so different? Yes, no.
Did you take a step to the left?
I just kind of stood there and went,
and then, then a step to the right?
No, didn't do that.
You didn't do the time warp.
I didn't do the time warp. I felt like it.
I would have assumed you had to.
It was a lot of confusion. Like, what's going on?
Pretty sure there would be.
There was
a drastic difference in dress.
In dress, yeah. So they are. So if you go to Colorado Renaissance Festival, where we are a Renaissance festival,
right?
Sherwood Forest is a medieval festival, which is the time period before the Renaissance. So.
Lots of. If I'm correct, there's. Were they a central? Were they a centered one nation at the time, or were they still like a bunch of small kingdoms, like people vying for the rulership, if you would?
I want to say it was small kingdoms.
Yeah, I think that is correct.
That's if I remember my history correctly.
I don't know. That's why we have Loquacious.
That's why we have Professor Loquacious to make sure that we speak correctly.
Yes.
Speak factually, I should say. But yeah, so the medieval festival is a time period before the Renaissance. So it's a completely different atmosphere.
Right.
Different way of speaking, different music, different clothing.
Which is really funny because medieval times. Have you ever been?
No.
Reminds me of the Renaissance more than it reminds me of medieval.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can show up dressed however you want, obviously, like I did.
He says obviously
because
as he shows up.
I didn't know any better, and so yeah, I did. I walked in and I'm like, I don't see anyone dressed like me. Why is that? And then,
Do you think pirates feel that way when they roll into the Renaissance Festival?
well, they should because they're completely out of place.
Yes.
Yeah, it's there should be no pirates in the Renaissance
Well,
Festival.
not dressed as the Golden Age of pirates.
No, and nor should they be shouting at the top of their lungs, "We're pirates," because then they would be dead.
We may be doing something about that this year.
Yeah, we should, because there's entirely too many pirates.
Well, I mean, they're basically encroaching on my territory.
They are. So I think something should be done.
Oh, yes.
So I believe we
I'll
speak
have-
to the Lord High Sheriff.
I will have words with the Lord High Sheriff.
Yes.
And perhaps the mayor and the duke.
Oh, yes. I believe that, the Lord Mayor and the Duke of Larkspurshire, whom we love.
Yes. Yes.
We're talking
Is
to
that
you.
creepy enough looking?
Yeah, dude, that's
How does that look?
like you have a panel van outside of a playground.
Oh. Well, wait. How does it look now?
Oh yeah, you're fine. So yeah, just make sure you know what festival you're going to and what that is centered around.
If feeling like you fit in is
Yes,
important.
if you want to fit it. I mean, you can wear Renaissance garb to the medieval to the Renaissance.
I've
however you
seen
wanna
dudes
do it.
dress up in Star Trek uniforms show up at the Renaissance Festival.
Let's not even. Okay, that's
It was funny on Big Bang. It's not funny anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's a certain weekend for that,
Time travelers.
which is Time Traveler Weekend. That's
the
perfectly
very last
fine.
weekend.
But if you come on Celtic Weekend dressed as a Star Trek character,
Gonna make fun of you.
I'm totally making fun of you.
Gonna make
because
fun of you.
You don't
In character.
In
It's
character,
not-
of course.
It's not meant to be mean
No, but you're going to be made fun of.
at some point.
Yes, I believe that falls into the know your role.
I would like to see the yes and with that one.
There's no yes and with that one.
There's always a yes and.
You don't belong here. Yes and go. That's
No, but
look at the time. I must be off.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no. So just kind of know where are you going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what in your opinion, what is the main differences other than garb between the medieval festivals and the Renaissance festivals?
So I mean, garb is the biggest one.
Okay.
For me. But like I said, it's all the characters that you're going to meet.
Okay.
So there's not going to be the King Henry, and there's the medieval is actually going to have a lot more emissaries from different places.
Oh, cool.
Because that's kind of for me, that's where it kind of started. So you're going to have more of the Spanish, more of the French, because we don't hate the French yet.
Well, because it's not a unified England, I guess.
Exactly. So you're going to have a lot of those different characters.
Yeah.
Even in the medieval, you're still going to have your dabbling of Vikings. They did start coming over about the 1400s, right? In that, I mean, not like they were later on, but there were dabblers. So you are going to have some Vikings. Definitely going to have French, Spanish.
Maybe not Italians at the time.
No.
The Italians really, like we said before, they're still city-states.
Yeah. The Renaissance is when the Italians start really making
Right.
a presence and all that.
Oh, and don't forget the Portuguese,
Yes,
because the Portuguese played a very integral part on exploration.
yes, but you know what's funny? Of all the fairs that I've went to, I have not met anyone who is
A Portuguese.
portraying anything Portuguese,
That's interesting.
which I think would be super cool. You
Yeah.
know, if you can figure out a way to do it correctly.
Marco Polo.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
You're a sailor on Marco Polo's ship.
Yep.
And you're getting ready to set sail for the east.
Boom. There you
Or
go.
you just returned. One of the two.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Portuguese were huge in trade. They actually led the way ahead of the Spanish,
Yeah.
which is what prompted the Spanish and the Italians during the Renaissance age on pushing forward with that.
Right.
In England, the idea of trading was not as prevalent yet.
Right.
So I do know that part only because the histories with the Portuguese and the Woku are kind of interwoven at that time frame.
Right. Medieval festivals, you're also going to have a lot of Celtic influence.
Oh yeah, like the Woads and
Yep.
and the Scotsmen that
Yeah.
are wild.
Yeah, because I mean, you got to figure at this time, you've got the Wodes, you've got the Scots. They're coming into, what would be
bringing broad
what would
into
be
the fold,
England, but they haven't. The English haven't developed technologically yet to push those people back to where they come from. So
Right.
it's they're still
So
going to
this
be
is-
interwoven.
Cinematically speaking, medieval ages would be like Braveheart.
Correct.
Okay. Just trying to get everybody to think more along the lines of like this is where
Yeah.
a good movie reference would
Yeah.
be.
Think like late 13, early 14.
Okay. So William Wallace is
Wallace, yes.
Yes.
I mean, if you believe in the William Wallace of Braveheart.
dude. It was a great movie though.
It was a great movie.
except for the weird cut at the end. Of
Except for they didn't actually have kilts back then. But anyway, we're going to digress.
They didn't. They didn't.
No,
but
no.
how else would you know that they were Scotsmen?
Exactly.
An Irishman.
I'm just saying.
You wouldn't know.
No.
Without the kilts, then they just look like random English people.
Yes. And if you go to a medieval festival, do not dress up like Jack Sparrow. You'll be completely out of place.
I'm usually the one down bad mouthing Jack Sparrow. I mean, dude, don't get me wrong. My man Johnny made a great freaking character.
I love. Okay, so that is the only person that should be dressed up as Jack Sparrow.
Well, they're paying an homage to him.
Oh, is that what we're calling it?
That's what they call it.
Oh, okay.
I don't call it that.
Okay, neither do I.
I just call it lazy writing.
I do too.
And then there's fantasy fairs.
Oh, yes, the fantasy fairs.
So fantasy fairs are pretty much like think more along the lines of Lord of the Rings,
Yes.
Dungeons and Dragons type of stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that we said that together.
Yeah. That's where all the nerds are.
Or Santa Fe. Santa Fe Renaissance Festival is right. It straddles the line.
It does. Because it's like we said before, it's split up into two different sections.
Correct.
So they have Renaissance Festival
Up top.
proper up top, and then you go down the hill and you
Which
actually.
the crappy thing is that's where all the food's at.
It is.
That
That's
sucks.
Really sucks. And then you go down into the.
It's not that I'm bad mouthing the festival. I understand why.
Yeah.
There's a
absolutely.
logical reason why you can't bring food down there because it backs up to a desert.
Yeah,
And
what-
there's a lot of coyotes that
But
run around
also,
out there.
it's a. So that is a history museum.
Yeah, living history.
It's
museum.
living history, so they want to limit the impact
Right.
on that. So I totally get why
I'm not bad
they do it.
mouthing. It's just when you work there and you have to go all the way up the hill.
Yeah, I mean, if we could just get one Scotch egg booth down at the bottom would be great.
I didn't see any Scotch eggs when I went down there.
No, they do not have Scotch eggs.
We're gonna have to
at
fix this, but they
Oh,
do have some bomb tacos, dude.
Well, it is in New Mexico.
I know, but geez, did you? Oh,
I didn't get one.
you
but-
didn't get a taco?
No,
You should have told me. I would have gotten you one.
no, I didn't get one
Why not?
because I was down in the ferry village, and that's where the cast tent is.
You should have told me. I would have brought you a taco.
I only walked up that hill once.
Oh, I walked up that hill several times.
Actually, I trudged up the hill.
I ran up that hill. And then I ran down the hill because Captain Hook was chasing the Lost Boys
Yes.
and left everybody else behind, so I had to keep up with him.
Yeah, trudging does not only mean Lord Robert; it also means Rufus the Bone Fairy. I trudge no matter what character I'm in.
Well, I was going to make a comment about the wings, but they are kind of tiny.
The wings did not help me move faster.
It lifts one leg at a time, those wings.
But they were fantastic.
They were hilarious. But fantasy fairs, usually you're going to see more ornate costuming.
Yeah.
You may run into like your satyrs, your centaurs, some of your high fantasy type of things. So I don't think I can't say I've been to a pure like fantasy style festival
No.
that doesn't reside outside of like a civic center.
Yes. So the fantasy fairs are not really my thing. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just not my flavor of tea. My biggest pet peeve.
Oh God!
Here we go.
The guys bristling in swords.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too. You should only.
I honestly think that those should be classified. I classify those as like fantasy.
Yeah.
Those are
Just-
high fantasy people.
Yeah, you should only have one sword. That's all you need.
If you have more than one sword, it's usually because you're not good with the one,
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna probably just drop that one.
or throw it.
The fantasy elements from the fantasy fairs, in the
He's holding
Renaissance,
back.
in the Renaissance
He's holding back.
festivals.
It's great.
There
I know you
shouldn't
guys
be any
can see his
mixing.
face.
It-
You can
I
see
don't-
his face.
I don't get it.
It's
I don't understand
his
it.
face is contorted with just utter and complete confusion.
It is. I know. I'm going to bristle.
A little.
A little bit.
A
here.
little. I'll let you get
bit.
away with a little.
A little bit. Yes.
Okay.
No. I don't. Don't take this
Keith
the wrong
is not
way.
bad mouthing you
No,
as
not
a,
at all.
as a person or your costume. Actually, some of your costumes
no,
are freaking amazing.
I love the costumes. I just don't particularly go with the fantasy elements in a Renaissance festival.
I can understand
So when I
that.
see the centaurs and the ogres and all this, just for me and my personally, I don't.
You don't understand.
I don't. They don't fit for me.
Okay.
Because me as a Renaissance festival actor, how do I interact with that?
Oh, I
Because
see.
It's not. I can't have a conversation with a centaur because I have
Well,
nothing.
Lord Robert doesn't see.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I can't talk to you. Once again, one of my other things, the mushroom people. I don't understand the mushroom people. Why are they at the Renaissance Festival? I love the costumes, some of them, and I just don't. I don't get it. I understand that. You want to go out, you want to have fun, and I totally understand that. But for me, as an actor, I find it very, very hard to.
It's not within the scene.
Yeah, I mean, I can have an interaction with someone who, from a fantasy fair that's dressed up as, let's say, a ranger,
Okay.
or a druid,
Okay.
or something that's based
Somewhat within reality.
somewhat with reality.
Okay.
So I can talk to those people.
Okay.
But someone who's dressed up as an ogre, I don't see you. That's just
At least not at that type of festival.
yeah. Like if I went to a fantasy fair, sure, I'd talk to you
Right.
all day. But
In Santa Fe, Keith portrays a fairy.
I will be a fairy. Yeah. So at that point, even when I do the bone fairy, I generally don't talk to people up at the top
Right.
in the Renaissance because I'm a fairy.
Right.
And so I don't like humans.
Right.
So I do I would say 90% of my interactions down in the
down
fairy
below,
village.
yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
Right.
So you have to come to my area for me to really kind of interact with you and all that.
Keith is also the type of guy that doesn't like his food to touch.
No.
If that makes any sense to you guys.
what was that? What was that one song? You got to keep them separated.
Yeah. That's, so I am actually of a different mind because I personally think, you know what, dude, you spent time on it. You want to go out there and show off your talents. Dude, do it. Who cares what anybody else thinks? Now, does it limit your interactions? Well, truth be told, you're probably going with a group of friends, or you're going to meet with a group of people that you know, or that have like-minded interests. Those are the people that you want to be around. You don't really need Keith to be interacted with. Keith is more grumpy because it's one less interaction that he can have, and he likes having as many interactions as possible.
Absolutely.
So the other thing is that neither Keith or I understand where the mushroom people came from.
No, I don't get it.
I would we've put that call out several times. We would love for somebody to explain just the origins. You know, I have my suspicion. I think that they're akin to boggarts and goblins, where they've donned these mushroom caps as hats. That's what I think. But character-wise, Yen Sheng, because he is from the East, and the East is very attuned with the mystical.
Yes.
It's okay. You're good. Which makes it really funny because when the two of us are walking together, Lord Robert does not see the Fae.
No.
So I'm making a call out to all of you guys out there. If you're dressed as a mushroom, do me a favor. Look for us. I want you to huddle around Lord Robert Adelborn III and surround him. Walk with him.
Yes. So that it's going to be a very interesting interaction.
He's going to ignore you. Meanwhile,
I will.
I'm going to acknowledge you and your very existence. We're going to try to.
But let me clarify. I'm going to ignore you in the fact that my character does not see you. It's not that I'm ignoring you to be.
No, he's not being difficult. He's not being mean. It's within the character. So within the character, then it becomes paramount that Yen Shang sway.
Yes.
Lord Robert to see why he is stuck in one location.
Yeah. So there's only one of the Fae that I actually acknowledge throughout the Fae, and that's serendipity. Yeah.
Do you not see a sun?
No.
The mermaid?
No.
No? Do you see a seal?
No, I don't see anything at all.
That's interesting.
So it's just people are talking to Asen, and I just look and okay, you're talking to a rock. I don't know what are you talking about.
But what about the bubbles? Do those just randomly come out of nowhere?
Yes, there's just bubbles. I don't know where the bubbles are coming from. So that's a lot like the Duke and Duchess of Norfolk.
Okay.
They don't see Fae.
Oh.
So it's so if anyone out there has ever talked to them or tried to talk to them and they ignore you, this is the reason why, is because their character does not see the Fae. Oh. So there are some characters that we have on cast.
So if you're dressed as a fairy or an elf or something abnormal,
they won't see you.
That's not human, I should say.
Yes.
Okay. They don't see you.
No.
Okay. So that's where the fantasy fairs usually are at.
Yeah.
I would love to actually go to a fantasy fair, though.
And so along with that, the only reason that I see Chester is because he's only half.
So do you only see half of him?
No, I see him, but I don't recognize him as a Fae. I just recognize him as a jester.
So then what's the logic behind seeing serendipity? Other than Super Dippin' Dots is hilarious.
Because I just love Super Dippin' Dots.
Okay.
So she's super awesome.
Somehow she has pierced the veil.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. What do we got next? Next, we're going to talk about LARP.
LARP.
So LARP, live action role play. Which some people have accused me, dude. So do you just like LARP on the weekends? No,
kind of.
No, because we're missing one very important adjective that's there: action. So live action role play is generally we're using foam boffers to fight with one another. Boffers.
I like that word.
Well, it's actually what they call them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're not really swords unless you get into those higher tiers of LARPers that they use like latex weaponry.
Oh yeah, no. I have a really cool one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
some of them look really nice.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about like the pool noodles,
oh yeah,
those are boffers.
No. Okay.
There's several organizations that are out there. These people will create. They'll create roles in their own kingdoms and stuff like that. I think the United States is broken up into like 4 or 5 different kingdoms that you can fall into, and then they all kind of gather at locations and have these huge melees.
Right.
I've only done it a couple of times. Was not impressed. Got kicked out of one.
And why not? What was unimpressive? I've seen them. I've watched YouTube videos. They look cool.
I mean, the ones that I went to, and it could have just been the groups that I went to go play around with. One of them, the rules were way too constrictive.
Okay.
My sword wasn't a certain color, so I couldn't parry with it. I'm like, that's stupid.
Right.
Like, that is dumb. That is the definition of dumb. And I got kicked out of that one because I literally kicked a dude in the chest.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but when you're prancing about and you're prating about saying, I'm the best swordsman here. Well, dude, you just told me I can't parry, but you can. But I can't because my sword's the wrong color.
Oh, gotcha.
It was not for me.
Yeah. And then, not to interrupt you, but for people that may not understand what LARP is, watch the movie Role Models.
Dude. So those guys
That-
are on a whole different level.
Yeah.
Because
But that's pretty close to what we're talking about.
Yes, they have like a central theme. There's also another version where it is more, it's more like playing live action D&D. So you have your character, and your character has skills, and you can level them up, and you can do all of these things. Actually, the Lord High Sheriff and I talked about this before we went down to Santa Fe.
Okay.
Because he plays the bard down there, and they're actually like a LARP there. So some of them are more or less like they're gradients on the combat.
Okay.
Then there are modern day LARPs. So it's not just high fantasy. You can also have like the Vampire the Masquerade type of guys. That they run around and they rock, paper, scissors, or they have dice that they roll to see if their character is successful, but they are in the character. They have created the character. They don the affectations of their character.
You do realize you're like totally nerding out right now.
Oh, dude, yeah, no.
Okay,
That's
right.
what this is all about.
Okay, great. Yeah, because I'm
Yeah, you're not following me.
no,
It's
I mean
okay.
a little bit. You
No,
know, I mean I've got you.
I mean, it's another form of acting
Okay.
and improv, but there's a goal attached to it.
Okay.
Unlike what we do, there's no goal other than us just making somebody feel something.
Yeah, that's
You
our
know?
goal.
It's we're not looking for laughs.
No.
If it happens because it was funny.
No, we want just an emotion.
Yeah, some kind of reaction. That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
That's all we're looking for. You know, I mean, like, I don't know. I got a bad reputation last season, dude.
Well, yeah,
I made people cry.
yeah.
That literally is what people told me at the end of the festival. Was like, dude, you're just trying to make everybody cry. I'm like, I'm really not.
No,
I was not trying to make the Princess of Ireland cry. I was trying to do something nice.
right.
And she cried,
Yeah,
along with like 4 other people.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So what happened?
The sun.
is when I was saying the wind came up.
Yes,
and I got dust in my eye.
we were right next to the Queen's Pantry.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
onions.
I've got smoke.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, it was a lot of things happening right there. That yeah, totally.
I will say, and then the other one was when the tiny violinist played.
Yes,
Dude, there was not a dry eye there.
so I was standing under this tree, and there's like
But
pollen.
it wasn't just you.
Yeah.
I mean, like it hit me.
yeah, no, a lot of other people
and
were crying. I was just explaining.
I
That
was fighting.
mine was
but
like allergies.
Mine was pride.
Yeah.
Yours was because you're soft.
No, it's allergies.
And then there was a lot of patrons that it was raw. It
Oh,
was,
yeah, no,
it
it
was
was-
emotional.
it was a fantastic
Arlen
interaction.
Arlen McNaughton, one of my favorite people at the festivals, specifically at Colorado.
Yeah.
Honestly, between him and the Princess of Ireland, those are the two people that really moved me to want to be part of the cast.
Yeah.
Arlen has been part of our family since 2013, when he first played for the Tiny Violinist.
Right.
And then 10 years later, she played for him,
Yeah.
or played with him. I mean,
Yeah.
that in itself is a beautiful story. So it made a bunch of people cry for that one.
Yep,
And then
absolutely.
we made the Princess of Ireland cry, which, again,
Yes.
both of these things were not my intention.
No.
I was paying honor to 2 very important people in my life.
Yeah. It just
So happened that people felt something and they were moved to shed tears.
But it's like we always say, we go into something with an idea of
Yes.
how to start it, and where it ends,
Yes.
who knows?
So that actually the term LARP is the first thing that my youngest one had said. That's what you do. I'm like, no, I will kick you in the chest.
Yeah.
And then along with LARP, and I know there's going to be some people that are going to be like really mad that I said that. Close to the same vein is the SCA, the Society for Creative Anachronisms.
Yes.
These are my first experience with these guys was in the early 90s
Okay.
at the city park.
Oh, got you.
Had a bunch of dudes dressed up in armor beating the junk out of each other.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they
And-
do.
Well, and it was weird to me because I'd never seen it before. So I rolled over there and was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, right.
And, they've got their picket line
Uh-huh.
so that you don't get hurt,
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And then there were cops. There were cops standing off on the side to make sure that you don't get hurt.
Yeah.
And if something happened, they were able to react really quickly. Fortunately, the park that I was at was probably like 5 blocks from the hospital, so they didn't have to have an ambulance on standby.
Right.
But also, the way that these guys do, they have kingdoms that are built throughout the United States, and actually they are a international organization.
Okay.
So they have kingdoms that are set up. They schedule much like the LARP Society, where they do grand melees, but these guys are like legit grand melee.
Right.
They also have different things that are part of that. So they have a tradesman category. So
Okay.
they'll do leatherworking, metalworking, and stuff like that. Bowyers and fletchers, so people that make bows and arrows, leatherwork. They'll have just all kinds of different crafting,
Right,
like
right.
trades folks. Then you also have your musicians, and then you have archery. You have different styles of combat. So they break it down. It's not just like, oh, well, you're going to fight against this guy that has a poleaxe. First off, as Matt once told us,
Yes.
Prince Otto, as a fencer, he says if he ever came across somebody that had a spear or a poleaxe, he's going to lose.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And this is a guy that is trained to teach European fencing.
Well, it's just about distance. I mean, you can't. You're
Yeah.
not going to get close to the
How
guy.
you going to close that gap?
You're not.
It looks great cinematically when you see the dudes,
Oh.
doing their kicks and twists and spinning the spear around. But come on, dude,
Yeah,
I don't care how fast you think you are.
that's high fantasy.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It really is.
It's great for a movie, but it's not
cinematic.
It's nowhere near factual.
So the SCA also you can classify into this some of the non-competitive portion, not the reals like the sports. So like HEMA, the historic European martial arts.
Okay.
Those guys they again have their own thing. Something that we're missing here is some of those pirate festivals and Viking festivals and stuff like that. Some of those guys are built into building their roles and having fun like that.
Yeah. And I'm glad that they have their own festivals.
Sure. I wouldn't expect that Lord Robert would show up at, like, I don't know, Comic-Con,
No, Lord Robert would not show up at a Comic-Con.
although it would be funny.
Although it could happen.
It could be funny.
There could be a Renaissance Rascal
Oh, God.
Comic-Con appearance.
Oh, God. Ooh, you know what we should do? If we're going to do this, we gotta do it Muppet style. If anybody out there knows how to make, like, Muppets, Renaissance Rascal Muppets,
Oh, there you go.
dude, what's up with that?
That would be all right.
That would be hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I mean,
We could have our little puppets.
So I would say, the same thing for us if you and I showed up in our clothing.
Our Renaissance garb.
Yeah. At a Comic-Con would be the same thing as, the guy dressed up like Deadpool showing up at the Renaissance Festival.
Well, the difference...
People are going to be like, what are you? You don't fit in here.
the
Why are you
difference-
here?
The difference is that at a Comic-Con, they're going to ask you which show you're from.
Right.
What anime are you?
Yeah.
Or they're going to try to place you in their own minds from their lexicon.
Yeah,
Um,
but at the same thing, I wouldn't have a conversation with any of them.
Well,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
no, dude,
But as my character,
Yeah.
I'm not saying me.
Yeah.
But as Lord Robert, I'd be like, what are you speaking? I don't know this language.
Right.
Anime. What is this anime
Right.
you speak of?
Right.
What is a Death Star?
I once-
What is a Death Star? Like.
It's like a morning star.
It's
so-
like a morning star. Oh, yes, I get that, of course. So that's what I'm saying. It would be a weird thing. So a guy dressed up like Deadpool or
We've
some
seen that.
kind of a lot. And I just look at him and go, you don't fit in here. I don't
Although-
understand what.
Although
I'm all about people having a good time. Don't get me wrong.
I think that if Keith and I were to go to a Comic-Con, we would either A, go in plain clothes to enjoy the pageantry that people do with their costumes,
yes.
or B, we would pick something and dress up as that
Yeah.
and try to get in with that group. Like Keith used to do Wild West reenactment.
Yes.
Yen Sheng would not show up at that and be like, "Hey, how's it going?
Well-
Howdy, partner."
Yeah, Yen Shang could, but it would be in a completely different role.
Yeah, no, it would be, "I'm here to wash your shirt."
He would be building a railroad.
Yeah, or washing shirts.
Yeah, very,
yeah, very much of the time period.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and I've got no issue with that. That is the time period.
Yeah, of course.
But I think that if I were to go somewhere, I want to fit in. A couple of years ago, I went to Comic-Con. I dressed up as a Jedi.
Okay, it makes sense.
And then I went and hung out with some of the guys from the 501st. And then I found out that our headsman is actually part of the 501st.
Yes, he does. Obi-Wan.
He does,
right?
Well, he does one of the Jedi. I think it's one of the Jedi. I can't remember which one it is. He's part of the Rebels.
Obi-Wan.
But I had a wonderful conversation with some of the people that are there.
Yeah.
Unlike us, they don't always stay in character.
No. Well, they're once again they're not paid actors,
Correct.
so they don't need to stay in character.
Right. And the 501st is actually the 501st, which is if you don't know who they are the 501st, the Vader's Fist. They're cosplayers that dress up as Empire, stormtroopers.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay,
gotcha.
stormtroopers and Darth Vader and Imperial officers.
Okay.
And then you have the rebels that dress up obviously as, but the 501st is actually a 501c, so they're a volunteer chapter. They do fundraising.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
A lot of their stuff is closely tied with the children's hospitals and children's network.
Great.
So they do a lot of cool things. But again, if you and I were to go to one of their events, we would either go as plain clothes,
Yes.
or we would dress as they dress.
Correct.
Kind of like, any other high gothic, or I don't know, pick something.
Yeah.
We're not going to dress up as Yen Shang and Lord Robert Adelborn to show up to those events.
Correct.
No,
it wouldn't make sense.
It's literally Keith and Rob showing up and crashing your party because we're idiots.
Well, we are
Sometimes.
mostly.
Okay. But that's one of those things that I get where you're coming from with the high fantasy showing up at the Renaissance Festival.
Yeah, like I said,
I
I
understand.
have no problem with them. It's just for me, like I said, as an actor,
No.
I can't interact with them because I don't see them, and two, they just don't fit with what I'm trying to do.
Right.
So it's not that I'm saying don't do it. Please
No,
come
please,
have
fun.
Have fun.
I'll talk to you. He won't.
Come and enjoy yourself. But it just for me. If you ever see me and I just walk by you and I don't, it's nothing personal.
That makes so much sense. Why you walked right past that wonderful woman that was dressed up like Maleficent? Yeah, Maleficent.
Yeah.
I mean, her costume was amazing.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I saw it.
It was amazing.
But I'm just like, I don't.
You
see
walked right past. I'm like, but dude. Okay.
Yeah, there's a reason.
As a character, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because we are when we are in the laneways, when we are walking, trudging through the streets,
we trudge.
We are actually in character.
Yeah.
And again, because of Yen Shang's background, he is very in tune with the mystic.
Yes.
Whereas
I am not.
He sees two people. Well, three, because you do see Periwinkle.
No.
No, you don't interact with Periwinkle at all. That is correct. Holy crow! Wow, you're a dirt. You're just a dick.
Yeah. No. Even when I walk by Link. So
Yes.
as he plays, now I'll make contact with eye contact.
But there's no
And I'll
words
see him-
spoken.
No. Well, he doesn't speak, but I won't bow. I won't show deference.
I give a little head nod.
I won't interact with him at all. I'll look at him like, hey, I see you. Good job. But I don't stop. I don't listen to Link, except for that one time that we
Brave
did,
Sir Robin.
that we did the Brave Sir Robin.
Yeah.
So
But that was backstage.
no.
No, that wasn't on. That was not out on the lane. That was backstage.
Was it backstage?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well,
That was-
there you go then.
That was backstage. It was actually in our break area.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because we were sitting there talking with Sebastian, and
yeah, that's right.
I was poking fun at Sebastian on how and he said, "This is my most requested song." I'm like, "Then why don't you know it?" And by the way, Sebastian. You still owe me a song.
Yes. But yeah, no. So that's why I don't do it. But I notice the people and I notice the costumes. But
The actor notices the people and the costumes.
Yes.
The character
does not.
is oblivious.
Yes.
Which is not bad. I mean, dude, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I want to clear that. So
Yeah.
if people see me and they try to interact and I just walk by, it's not that I'm being rude.
Just remember,
It's that
if you see us,
talk
talk
to him.
to me, and then we can help try to persuade him.
And then we will have an interaction, but it's going to be really weird because
It's going to be
don't know-
one-sided,
I don't know who he's talking to, so
which makes it fun for me.
it'll be a fun interaction.
It'll be great because he'll get loud.
Oh, absolutely.
He'll get loud and scream at me,
Yes.
and I will have to wait until his rant is over,
Yes.
and then turn around and say, "Right there."
Yeah. Yeah. But no, there are some people on cast that do see the Fae and they see all the characters
Yes.
and all that. But
that's
I particularly just am not one of them.
That's very interesting. I mean, but see, again, this goes into the layers of it as it is the actor trying to understand the scene that is set, and as a Renaissance festival that is not fantasy oriented,
Correct.
Because that's not what Colorado Renaissance Festival is.
No.
Some festivals,
except for the one weekend that we
Right.
have. That's a
and that's the
fantasy
one weekend that you see people.
Yes.
Yeah,
So that weekend, yes.
yeah. Well, actually, it's two. There's time travelers.
Well, that's a little bit different.
Okay.
So that's kind of an anything goes
Right.
weekend.
Right. But there's
like
time
I'll-
travelers, and then there's the fantasy.
Yeah. So generally, the opening weekend,
Yeah, and the closing
is,
weekend.
is I'll see everyone,
Right.
Because that's the fantasy weekend. So I want to interact.
Unless
with
it's a
everyone.
little girl that's dressed as a fairy princess.
Oh,
then he
I
sees them.
always see the fairy princesses. Yes.
I just want to clarify.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you know.
Yes.
But there's differences in festivals. We're not saying that you can't go to all of them
No.
or you shouldn't go to a certain one. We are saying if you want to maximize on your experiences at the festival, interacting with the cast and crew, kind of know where it's at, man. Understand where your lane is at. Understand where your role is at.
Yeah.
You can't roll into Colorado Renaissance Festival saying I am King Oberon and expect everybody to understand who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because
you're gonna have people on cast like myself that don't see you. So you're gonna be, I'm King Oberon, and I'm gonna walk right by you, and then you're gonna think, oh, that guy's a dick. I'm really not. It's just my character doesn't
Yes.
see you. Now there's people on cast that will. So find that person that you can have that interaction with. You know,
it's difficult to know which ones, especially at Colorado, because there are certain ones that they will interact with everyone and anyone.
Yeah. Talk to everyone though.
But there are some that like Lord Robert Alborn, he doesn't see the Fae because to him they don't exist.
Yeah.
You know. Meanwhile, Captain Yen Shang acknowledges all of the mystic world
Yeah.
because that is during the time frame of China's. You had several things that were going on there. You had Taoism, you had Shintoism, you had Buddhism, and all three of those things were part of culture.
Right.
So we believe in all of those demons and all of those things. So what does that mean? That means, my darling, I see you. I may not understand you, but I do respect you. Meanwhile, that jerk doesn't see nothing. Help me persuade him.
I don't get you at all.
Seriously, mushroom people.
People.
Come give Robert a hug.
I don't understand the mushroom people.
Don't actually touch him, but just kind of stand around him because that's hilarious.
Yes.
I really want to see how that plays out because I think that'll tax out like the improv.
Oh yeah.
I think it will. Like
It would
honestly,
be, I would welcome it. You know,
I mean, 'cause
honestly.
the things that I can already see. Lord Robert, you're standing in a fairy ring.
What fairy ring are you speaking?
The mushrooms.
I don't. What mushrooms?
You see the mushrooms, yes?
Well, I see mushrooms. Yes.
Yes. You're standing in a fairy ring.
Yeah, there's no fairies. I just see mushrooms.
Well, no, they made the ring of mushrooms. You see how this could be fun? Imagine you being there, and then you guys could make little weird noises. That'd be awesome.
yeah. Where are the noises coming from?
I don't know. I think you've made it mad.
What? I made the mushroom mad.
Yes.
Oh, that's terrible.
But that is a way that you can play with. You can play with some of the cast if you're a Fae and they don't see the Fae. However, A word of caution, my friends. Don't try to get them to break character.
No.
Don't do that. And typically, the ways that I've seen people try to break character or force cast members to break character, don't touch them. That's a quick way to get kicked out.
Yes. Yeah. Don't. It's as a rule of thumb, just don't touch anyone. Yeah.
You know who we're talking to.
Yeah. Don't touch anyone.
I mean, if you're watching this, you're probably, somehow found us, but usually those type of people don't watch us.
No, it's just an etiquette thing.
Yes. Be polite.
I mean, some people don't mind being touched, other people do.
Now,
so play it safe and just don't touch anyone.
I will tell you that when you mushroom folk walk by and there is something phenomenal about your costume, Keith and I will actually have hushed tones where, dude, did you see that?
Oh, absolutely.
We're very hush about it because that is a moment where we are actually stepping out of character just to have a quick comment.
Yeah.
It's not something that lasts very long.
No, and you generally won't hear it.
No.
So, but please know that we do
appreciate you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love the characters. I love the costumes.
He just doesn't understand it.
It just I don't mix it. It's like oil and water for me.
It's really the character. But we honestly don't. We want to know the origin of the mushroom.
Mushroom people. That's the one thing I really honestly don't.
I think
get.
I think it's a video game. I think that's where it came from.
I don't think it's hippies.
Ooh, you know what it is? Super Mario.
Oh,
Toadstool.
They're all Toadstool's kids.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
He had a lot of kids.
He was busy.
He was very busy.
Whew. All right.
Who's the mom? Dun dun
Dun
dun.
If you know who the mom is, please let us know.
Yeah. Maybe it's like
Or was Toadstool like a reptile in there? He's asexual and just did his own thing.
Well, he is a fungus.
That's true.
Fungus does reproduce on its own.
There we go.
There it is.
Toadstool made his own kids.
Toadstool is his own grandpa.
Wow. This is getting a lot deeper than what I thought it was going to be.
Wow. We went all the way down into nerddom, man.
We did.
We scienced nerddom.
I feel a little dirty.
Well, I guess at that, because when he starts saying that, it's time to go. Those are the different types of festivals that you can go and hang out at. Not all. One size does not fit all.
No.
Like I said, I went as a generic Jedi when I went to Comic-Con. I did not portray Yen Shang there because he doesn't belong there. Yen Shang has traveled from Colorado to Santa Fe, but those are kind of close together. And now, in Santa Fe, though, because Yen Shang has been co-opted into the crew of Captain Hook.
Yes.
So I reside, much like Keith does, down in the Fairy Village.
Yes.
But that's only because Captain Hook is such a horrible captain.
He is probably, I would say worse than Jack Sparrow.
Lost his hand because of a kid.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Has been fighting the same kid for decades. Cannot beat this kid.
No.
I mean, how hard is it?
No.
You've captured him many times.
Absolutely.
All you got to do is put him inside the cannon, aim him at the crocodile, and get the crocodile to open his mouth.
If I said it once, I'll say it 100 times.
Or just shoot him into a rock.
Puts me in charge. I think things will be a lot different.
Oh yeah. But unfortunately, Shmi is too busy and trying to be his mom.
This is true.
I still think it would have been hilarious if you played Hook's dad.
Oh, that's totally doing that.
That would have been great. It would have been awesome. Oh my God. Hey guys, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
I am Rob.
I'm Keith.
And we're the Renaissance Rascals.
We are.
You can share us. It's not forbidden. It's actually encouraged.
I like being shared.
Yes. You can share us on Facebook.
Oh, yes.
Or on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yes. And if you haven't subscribed already,
please do.
What are you waiting for?
I don't know.
Yeah.
The invitation's there. Please do it.
We're going to be covering some more topics on acting, on how to build your character, on things that you could do to make yourself a better actor.
Yes. Improv.
And the great thing is because we have 0 certifications.
Yeah, no.
We actually learn from teaching you.
We do,
which is great because You know, we also bring in experts that know way more than us.
Yes, which we are going to be bringing in plenty of people in the upcoming episodes.
We've got some folks that are going to talk about how to be a knight.
Yes.
We're going to learn about a lineage of Renaissance.
Yes. Very much
family. We're also going to learn about improv.
Yes.
And music.
Yes.
Music is
hopefully some high, let's say high profile guests in the Renaissance community.
Ooh.
Hopefully.
Ooh.
Hopefully. We're trying to work out logistics.
Ooh.
Foreshadowing.
We're going to figure some stuff out.
Yes. We need to figure some stuff out.
Yes. We absolutely love having you guys hang out with us.
Of course.
It's a blast. You know?
I mean, what else are you going to do?
Fun doing this.
Oh, yeah.
It's I would hate to say this, but I really wish we were getting paid to do this, because you know what? I wouldn't be calling it a job.
No. I mean, it's not really.
Do what you love.
Yeah.
And you'll never work a day in your
Maybe
life.
if we could get a sponsor, that would be good.
Ooh. Like the Queen's Pantry.
Oh, the makers of the decadent Scotch egg.
Yes, the Royal Scotch egg.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, if you want to be a sponsor, throw us a message at Renaissance Rascals at gmail.com.
Or you can hit us up on Facebook.
We do Messenger.
That's right. And
by we, I mean Rob.
Yeah, it's really me. it's really me. Because if not, then, you get one word sentences from Keith.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. No.
Yes. No. Don't do that.
Well, that's 2 words.
Sometimes I string together sentences.
No, not that.
There's be a period after every word. No, not that.
What are we going to do next?
I don't know.
I don't either. We'll figure it out. Let's go get some food.
All right, sounds good.